let's see if we can do this without the wasp trying to attack us. Thank you for joining me on my patio, and I wanted to start off with a little introduction as to why I wanted to do the Learning by Feet videos. Okay, so first of all, I am ADD, sometimes ADHD. I actually have people ask me, like, how do you stay so thin? It's like, well, ADHD. It's a gift and a curse. Whenever you go into a room and you pace the whole house trying to remember why you went in there in the first place, waste a lot of time, but it does keep you moving, keeps you fit. So anyway, a little bit about, see, I glitched, you see that. So just pressing on. Learning by feet, I've got the idea because I'm trying to help my brain connect better, and I read some studies that were talking about if you use your non-dominant hand to, say, brush your teeth or write or perform other daily living tasks, that it can help you to not only strengthen that hand, like to get better at those certain skills, but it can help you to also build different neural pathways in your brain because you're using different side. Anyway, there's more to look into on that, and you can do that research if you'd like. But it kind of gave me the idea I can already write with my feet, and I'm very thankful everything, with the exception of my ADD, everything functions well right now. But I wanted to write with my feet because I saw Ripley's Believe It or Not. I used to watch a lot whenever I was a kid, and so I was watching a story of one lady. She didn't have arms and she had to do everything with her feet. I was like, wow, you know, that stuck with me. That was really impressive. And then also there were different people who could, like, write really tiny. One man did the engravings on rice, but other people could do things like write with their feet. And I had a whole lot of free time as a kid. I didn't get to go out much, and so I learned to write with both of my feet. Now, I haven't done that in a while. I haven't practiced regularly since I was in high school, so I'm a little bit rusty at it. So this is another reason it gives me practice. Also, I'm interested in learning languages. I've studied Spanish for 2 years in high school and 2 years in college, but I don't really have an opportunity to practice it now that I'm out of school. So that I'd like to go back and brush up on. But recently I've been wanting to study Chinese and Cherokee, and because I'm ADHD or ADD, whatever you want to call it, the H is a benefit. The hyperactive, that I enjoy when that part kicks in, but a lot of times it's just spacey. It's like, what was I doing? So, anyway, back to the learning languages. When I want to learn Cherokee or Chinese, I would switch back and forth. I've got a nice little gold notebook I'll show you someday, and I start with one side Chinese and then the other side Cherokee, and I figure whenever I work on both to where it meets in the middle, then I'll be a good knowledge of both of those. So we'll see how that goes. But the reason I chose to start these videos with the Cherokee is because I'm going back to school, and to get into the nutrition program, I only had to complete a couple of prerequisites from where I'd already gotten my associate's degree. I didn't have that many classes left. One of the classes I had to have was Comp 2 for English, and you got to choose your own topic for your research paper. And I'd already kind of had the idea in the back of my mind just from learning Cherokee. The reason I decided to learn in the first place, okay, so one disclaimer, I have no authority to be teaching you the Cherokee language. I will link to resources of really helpful people that have helped me to learn, just watching their videos. But as far as pronunciation, as far as like singular and plural, I'm very, very basic, very beginner. I do have some Cherokee in my bloodline. You can't really tell. I've got more the Swedish, German, Dutch, Irish complexion going on. But my mom, you can look at her and you can tell she's got Cherokee bloodline in her. But we aren't on roll books or anything like that. My aunt, she does live in Cherokee, and she has been professor at different colleges, Native American studies. She is very knowledgeable. I would like to learn and become more like her. But at this level, I'm very, very much a noob, as my son would say. So, that being said, I chose to do the Cherokee videos first because it's something that I want to learn, and there aren't a whole lot of resources. I'm very interested in learning Chinese, but there's many resources that you can find. But as far as YouTube videos for Cherokee, there's several really good solid sources, channels, but there's not an abundance of them. So I figure if I can put a little bit extra out there, even if I'm taking the information that I'm learning from other channels, if I'm incorporating it into this way of learning, maybe it's something that, maybe people aren't interested in just vocabulary, but maybe you're like me and you like feet or you like to draw, and maybe that's going to be a little bit more of a interest. So here's hoping. Whenever I was doing the research paper, I learned, from Cherokee being an endangered language, a lot of the teachers are learning as they teach. There's actually a really good NPR radio broadcast about two brothers that were learning as they teach the Cherokee language, and that just really stuck with me. And I think it's very important that we not let these languages die out, especially for me having it back in my ancestry. I think it's neat, living here in the same, land, I guess you would say, knowing that people centuries ago were speaking this language and calling the plants and the animals like saw is goose and suli is buzzard, and I see those flying over, and it's just neat to call them what they were called by the people who lived here first. So anyway, not to go into that a whole lot, but I'm going to go ahead and do a few drawings, writings, and let's just see where this takes us.